right, what's the first thing that I need to do on this?
Mark.
Measure my length of conduit. Okay, measure. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Shoot, hand me that DeWalt tape measure, do you mind? Thanks. Okay, second thing, write my name on the end. Third thing, put the name of and my name of my buddy. Okay. Next thing, mark it 2 inches from the end. I'm just gonna put a mark right there at 2 inches from the end. And since I have a hard time putting this mark, making it go all the way around, what I usually do is I go around from both sides. Goodness. So if I just try and go all the way around in one shot, it usually looks like I'm trying to thread it. All right, nice, very pretty. Next thing, do a calculation for a 3-inch offset at 30-degree bends. 30-degree bends, the world's easiest bends, right? So it's just got a multiplier of 2. If I'm trying to make a 3-inch offset, I'm just gonna put 6 inches between my bends. Since I've got this on the very end of this, I'm just gonna put this at 8. So this mark is gonna be 6 inches from that mark. I looked up mark in the dictionary, which is my name, right? It says it's an insignificant speck. Okay. All right. So what's it say to do next? Do a calculation. Line up the arrow on the bender. I'm gonna put this on that arrow. Make it so it's lined up. Put some pressure on this so it doesn't slide around. I'm gonna bend this to a 30-degree bend. Yeah.
Ready to go.
Now when I go, if they have this bender handle straight up, that's supposed to be 30 degrees. And as much as I'd like to trust that, I don't. So I'm gonna, let me see one of those orange levels. You can take this one for a second. Okay. Now whenever you bend conduit, remember we talked about it's gonna have some spring back. So I need to be prepared to have a little bit of spring back. I'm gonna do it almost entirely with nothing but foot pressure, okay? All right, very pretty. What's it say to do next? Words, line the arrow up. Flip it over. Flip it over and put it on the arrow. This here is how you build a dog leg, okay? If I get it lined up with the arrow and I go to make this next bend, and this isn't exactly 180 degrees, let's say it's off like this, when I make this, it's gonna be goofy. It's gonna have a dog leg in there and it's gonna be no bueno. And then Mr. Andresen, he's a dickhead. He'll take points off for that, okay? So I'm gonna get it lined up. I'm gonna use both of my eyes and I'm gonna look right across this to make sure that I have it lined up perfectly. Because it's really embarrassing when I get them wrong. Now if I go and put this bender down on the ground and start making this other bend, see how that's gonking into the ground? I don't want to flatten that out. So I'm gonna take this whole thing and I'm gonna spin it upside down. You remember how I told you that these don't quite line up, but it's got those lines on the side? Pull it. When I go to do this, it's best if you get underneath it. So tall people like you might want to have a little bit longer handle. But I put my foot in front of that, kind of like a hook, my knee behind it. Don't knock the water out of those fire sprinklers, it would be bad. But I gotta put my hands close to this, because if I don't, this thing isn't gonna think that it has plenty of foot pressure. I want my hands to be as close as possible so it's like it has more foot pressure, okay? And then I'm just gonna bend it enough so that when I put it on the ground so I can use my level just right, the end of this isn't gonking into the ground. Okay, I don't want to put a little dent in the end of my conduit. I'm keeping pressure on there so it doesn't spin. And I put this level on there. Now, since I made the other one 30 degrees, I can just put this right on the top and go until it's in the middle of that bubble. Count for spring back. Looks pretty good right there. Okay, scooch a little bit. Come over here with that camera, amigo. If I bend these bends good, this isn't gonna have any space under there because there's no dog leg. If I line this up directly with that edge, it should be nice and pretty. These are nice uniform bends. They go the whole way at the same consistency. And when I measure from the table to that, oh shoot, I'm 1/8 of an inch off. Then I get smacked on the back of the hand because it's 1/8 of an inch off. Dang, okay. So this is pretty good. I'd probably take some points off for being a little bit off. These first ones, I'm gonna be pretty lenient with y'all. Plus, we're gonna be doing it twice. So if I'm in a group with you, I'm gonna do it once, and we're both gonna lose some points when I make a mistake. You're gonna lose half of the points that I do. And then when I get done with this one, instead of moving on and doing the other bends, the 45-degree bends, we're gonna do the bends again with the other person, the other partner, the buddy, okay? And then we'll be all done with this, and then we'll do the other ones, the 45 degrees.